Standing by right now on the line is Marc Molinaro. He's the GOP candidate for governor of New York State. And good morning, Marc Molinaro.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So you'll be, I'm told, in Utica today.
I am. We're making a few stops this afternoon. I have a couple events this evening, and actually doing a telephone town hall from Utica. I think we might be calling up into the North Country tonight, but nevertheless, we're making the rounds.
So I'm told there's actually going to be a fundraiser. They're holding a Pete Sobel and others are holding a fundraiser for you here.
That is true. We have a cocktail party this evening. I can't off the top of my head tell you the time, but cocktail party for me, and then the Republican Party is doing an event tonight for themselves as well.
And I have to ask you, one of the stories that's out there is, and you know, the expansion of all the casinos in New York State, which is supposed to be all part of the big revival of New York's economy. And all it seems to be doing, and this is something that Senator Joe Griffo always talks about, is we're kind of oversaturating the market here. Now, there's a story out in the last 24 hours. The owner of the state's largest new casino, built to help boost the Catskills economy, lost $58 million in the first 5 months, $37.2 million in the second quarter alone. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it was over-exaggerated to begin with. New York was late to the game. The state, frankly, the administration wanted the numbers to be bigger than they could ever be, and of course, these are not making their targets, and it's because it's not. Listen, for a while, certainly there are regions across the state that wanted and needed this industry, but because we were so late to the game. We couldn't make ends meet, so to speak, right? And now we are saturated. So, I mean, economic development needs to be about driving down property taxes, making it more affordable, helping existing businesses grow, and deregulating to make it easier for those employers today to kind of expand, as opposed to putting our hopes all in a basket that there's some magic pill, if you will, to growing jobs.
What's your take on sports betting?
I'm fine with it. I think the state, I think you and I may have talked about this some time ago. I wish the state legislature had adopted something before the left session this year. I think the governor could have put a little more weight behind it. I will say this, I don't do much betting, and I worry about the ills of betting. But that said, we're going, again, to be the last one to the ball game. Other states moved ahead. They're going to generate the revenue. They're going to see the job creation. And again, New York may very well be a little bit late to the game.
You're going to be doing a telephone town hall today, but also you're going to have a town hall coming up next week downstate a bit, right? So you're meeting and greeting with people, and you're willing to have these town hall meetings. What are you hearing from constituents?
First, I have to tell you, I've always done this, and I think that anybody who holds elected office needs to be right in front of the people they serve. And when I'm governor, we're going to have town halls, too. I mean, I do think you should have every right to come up, ask your questions, and anybody who serves you should be able to stand there and take the criticism and answer your concerns. Wherever we go across the state, three issues always come up: property taxes, corruption, and jobs. Jobs, property taxes, and corruption. I think people know that after 7 years of this governor, we have the highest property tax burden of any people in the state, and that needs to end. I'm committed to a substantial, meaningful property tax relief program to get real relief to real families across the state, and the corruption. We have seen the most corrupted state government in the country. Too many close associates of this governor now headed off to jail because of federal corruption charges. And we're chasing businesses and families out of New York because we're too expensive. Everywhere we go, no matter the party, no matter the region, those are the issues that come up consistently.
I want to ask you also about the governor. It's just been announced that there will be it's coming up right after, I think, Labor Day, a debate between Cynthia Nixon and Governor Andrew Cuomo. That's going to be kind of interesting because when in the last few months, it almost seems that all of this corruption seems to be getting to this governor a little bit. Because when a reporter, and maybe he just treats reporters this way, he's very critical of the president, but he seems to kind of act the same way with reporters at times. If you ask him a question, he acts as if he's above that question, and how dare you ask me? Your take on that and your take on the upcoming debate.
Well, the way you described it is right. I do. I think he thinks he's either above the law or above reproach, and it's not healthy. It's not good. He said he is the government only a few months ago, or about a year ago. He said, "I am the government." I also believe, by the way, in term limits, he served 8 years. That's all I think any statewide office holder should serve, 8 years and you're out. I don't even think he should be running for re-election, frankly. And I do think we see this dismissive behavior, which is just not right. It's not right for any elected official. And you're right. I do think that he thinks to some extent he's beyond reproach. As far as the debates, I mean, he should be a bit ashamed. His campaign goes to CBS television, agrees to the specifics, and then says to Cynthia Nixon, "Here, you take it or leave it." I mean, I don't get it. It's arrogance. It's not right. It's not acceptable. And the public, every voter deserves a robust debate.
Sure.
And I said this: I'll debate anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter to me. I joked I'll debate him with a fox. I'll debate him on a box. I'll debate him on a plane.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, and it's not healthy. But I do think, and I've said this before, sometimes when these guys or ladies hold these offices too long, they think they're more important than they really are. Yeah. And I do think that New Yorkers deserve a governor who respects them and respects the office.
All right, final question. You're Italian, and a lot of Italians up here. I'm sure at your fundraiser tonight there's going to be some Italian food. You've been here enough between Utica and Rome. And have you tried the Italian food, and how do you rate it? And be honest. I know it's not going to be anywhere near, your mother's sauce or anything like that, but what do you think?
Well, first, I will tell you, from where I'm from and south, it's gravy. From where I'm from and north, it's sauce. I've been very impressed. My mom and grandmama, I put it about a 10 or 11 on a scale of 10. But Utica, Rome, Italian food, I'm in the 7, 8, maybe a 9 category.
That's not bad. And being close to New York, some of the greatest Italian food you find in New York City. When I was in Providence, they called it gravy too. So it is here. I think it's gravy on Sundays when you add
it might be
when you add the meat.
And I always enjoy a little bit of Italian food before I run the Boilermaker. So
it helps. Yeah, I got to build up on those carbs. All right, Mark. Thanks so much, and good luck today in Utica. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Marc Molinaro.